Welcome to the Pitch Room, where ambition meets opportunity. Join us as we connect investors with visionary companies.
Welcome to the Pitch Room, a series from Global Investor Network where ambition meets opportunity. Today, we are thrilled to welcome Louis Wintergust, the CEO of GES, a company redefining power generation with its innovative, portable, and modular solutions. With a strong focus on sustainability, scalability, and technological innovation, GES is addressing critical challenges in power generation and positioning itself as a leader in the field. Louis brings a wealth of expertise and vision to the table, and we are excited to learn more about his journey and groundbreaking work being done at GES. So, first of all, let me welcome Louis. Hey, Louis, how are you?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Vikas. Pleasure.
All right. So let's learn more about you and what GES is. Can you please introduce what GES is?
Thank you. Well, the project started 10 years ago. We were fully involved in sustainable projects like solar, wind, etc. And eventually, we found out that limitations. Now, for example, the solar, you only have 5 hours available during the day, and on the wind systems, well, you have sometimes you have wind, sometimes you don't. So we started. I am an electronic engineer, so we started working in a different concept in which we could use the power of gravity and get motion, a mechanical motion. So after years of development, we finalized a prototype in Mexico, and we used this prototype in a manufacturing plant of plastics manufacturing plant, and it was running there for 2 years. So
Wow.
so during all these years, we have been advancing the technology, and we have been progressing and adding more elements like the microgrid concept, the power management concept, etc. And now we are ready. We are ready to manufacture the systems. There are plenty of clients in our pipeline. So the demand is here. We have the technology. So the only thing missing is let's say, the capital to start up the manufacturing facility and start supplying power. So that would be kind of a summary of what has happened in the past.
That's good. That's good. So I was just reading more about you. Like, you are an innovator, right? So you also have patents on some of the technologies, right? So you have developed own technology. Can you just brief us in short so that we
Yes.
know?
Exactly. Well, once we started with this technology development, we wanted to be sure that this patent would be allowed internationally. So we submitted in 2017. We submitted the patent, an international patent in my name, and then 2 years later, the European Chamber of Technology, they sent me a letter in which they said that the technology was accepted as innovative, inventive, and it had industrial application. So that was the moment in which we had to register the patent worldwide, and we achieved to register in 59 countries. Well, we had to invest a lot of money into that process, but at the same time, we kept our commercial, let's say, expansion of our concept. And well, exactly. I mean, we have the support of the patents, and not only that, I mean, we have the full knowledge of the technology we are working with. So well, we are ready. No?
Great. So I want to learn more about the products and the technology. Yeah, since we had this is like very technical, technology based initiative, and so
exactly.
And
well,
so go. So I want to learn more about the products you have as of now, and can you just brief, like, so we know that what exactly GES is doing in terms of product development.
Good, of course. Yeah, well, in reality, we don't have many products. In reality, what we are offering is a solution to produce clean electric power on site, because usually with the solar systems, the wind systems, you have big projects far away, and then you need to transmit the power to your facility. In this case, the concept is different, in which we will install the system in your facility, in your clinic, next to your clinic, next to your data center, next to your bank, next to your hotel. And we will be producing the power locally. Then the integration of the system into your power panels is very easy, because we just do a new electrical installation, and we bring the power into your facility. So what we are offering is the GES microgrid, meaning that we will not only produce a generator. No, we are offering a microgrid that is interconnected to your facility, and sometimes can be also connected to the grid. Because, for example, if you are receiving 5 megawatts, sometimes it's good to receive the 5 megawatts, and then this microgrid is the power management system. It has its own energy management system, that is the computer capacity to make the right decisions. Because sometimes during your daily or weekly operation, you have peak demand. There are moments in which you have peak demand. By having this microgrid, you will have the capacity to instantaneously react and supply the power that your facility needs. No? So, of course, in big projects, we are talking 20 megas or 100 mega projects, then it's different because then you are supplying the power to the grid. And the same happens. No? You have a fiber optic cable to one side, fiber optic cable to the other side, and we have the synchronization panels to analyze which are the harmonics of the network. So when we bring our energy in, it's fully synchronized with the grid. Okay, so in that case, what we are sensing and what we are controlling is exactly how much power does the grid need, because that's the power we will supply. So the only product we are offering is the microgrid or the GES microgrid system. That's the only product, no? Of course, the variation comes if you need 1 mega, if you need 5, 10, 20, or more. Our product involves, our engineers need to go to the site, they do the engineering studies in 1 week. In 1 week, we do all the engineering required. And with that engineering, we come back and design the perfect product for your system, for your facility, for your university, for your hospital, etc. So there's only one product that includes generator and storage and the microgrid, let's say, power management.
Okay, so from what I understand, it's basically you guys create a system like a generator, storage capacity, and a smart system which manages the energy, right? If I'm not wrong.
Exactly, those are the 3 elements.
Right.
That,
so how small can we, like, what's the minimum unit we can build it?
Well, the minimal unit we are offering is half a mega, meaning 500 kilowatt. So in this case, you have 500 kilowatt generation. We will install a 1 megawatt storage system or microgrid, but you can decide. You can say, hey, let's install 5 mega storage system. What does it mean? That in 10 hours, we can charge this storage system because we have 500. So 500 in 10 hours, we have 5 mega storage. Why do we need to store some energy? Because when you are receiving power from the grid, there are different tariffs. There is a basic, there is a medium, and there's the peak tariff. The peak tariff is very expensive, and in some of the developing countries, or even in the USA, once you get into that hour of the peak energy, that is 2 times or 3 times more expensive. So it's good to have enough power stored so you can sell to the grid or to the network this available power, and then the return of investment of your project becomes better, no? Because if you can sell during 2 hours a day or 3 hours a day this peak demand high tariff power, then you get a lot of money back to your investment. No? That's why it's very critical to count this storage power.
And how much size do we need, like to
well, let me tell you,
everything?
a 5 megawatt, it's not that much. A 5 megawatt project requires only 600 square meters. So 600, I mean, not even 1,000 meters, only 600 square meters. So it's not that much. The project for 100 megawatts requires only 4 hectares. 4 hectares. No? The other interesting thing about GES is that each of the tanks, because the silos, the blue silos that you may see, each tank holds its own liquid, its own water. And the inside the water tank, you have you have a train drive. So this train drive is operating inside the water level. And each tank has its own PLC, its own computer. So each unit is intelligent. So so the system depends on intelligent units. No? But eventually, for the 100 megawatt project, you install 1,000 units. So 1,000 intelligent units, and those units, as I'm repeating, it's only 4 hectares in space.
Okay.
If you wanted to do the same 100 megawatt project with solar, you will need 10 times more. You will need like 400 hectares, no, or whatever, or 40 or 50 hectares. So the optimization of space is one of the big advantages of GES.
Right, right, right.
If you have only the minimal system of yeah, it's okay.
So it's 100% clean
Are you
energy,
okay?
right? Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah. So I'm saying it's 100% clean energy, right?
Okay.
Right.
It's fully clean energy because the tank has some water, and of course the water tends to evaporate. So you will lose 2% of the water, or 3% of the water every month. So what we do is that we need to supply a little hose, a quarter of an inch hose, and that hose only needs to drop a droplet every 10 seconds. So it's only a drop, and that drop is enough to compensate the evaporation of the system. So that's it. So your tank has water, and in order to start the transmission, I mean the movement of the system, the train drive, you have a local battery inside of 12 kilowatts. So with that local battery, you start this system, and then this system you can start the next and the next and the next and the next. And so it's with only one battery, internal battery that the systems have, you will start
the whole relay can work.
The whole 100.
Okay,
exactly.
okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. So basically, it uses gravity as a source of energy, power generation.
Exactly. Wow. Let me explain a little. The planets hold its oceans because of gravity. When a planet like Mars loses gravity, then the oceans go away. So this concept of having your oceans in place, it's thanks to the gravity. In our case, by having the water in our tank, it helps because when you have the water in the tank and you have in this case, a train drive with tanks of air, then the air is pushing up. So our transmission, it's holding 4 tons of force. It's 4 tons of force. So the units are kilogram force. So you have 4,000 kilograms of force inside the tank, and this force creates movement. Once you have movement, you can transmit the movement into, of course, an intelligent transmission, and this intelligent transmission sends the movement of the shaft into an alternator. And the alternator, of course, is a state-of-the-art new machine that will produce the alternate power. In this case, 400 volts, 500 volts, 600 volts. And once you produce, let's say, 580 volts, that depends on the country. Each country has its nominal power. In America, it's 440. In Europe, it's 480. There are maybe 580 in different countries. So once you have the volts, what you need is amps. The amps is the power of the system. So when you have volts and amps, then you have current. Then you have power, electric power. So that's what defines the system. The interesting thing is that in contrary to other technologies, GES sustains the right frequency, because you can be producing 440 volts, but with 50 hertz or 40 hertz, or then you have a frequency mismatch. You need to keep in this case, in America, is 60 hertz, in Europe is 50. If it's, I don't know, each country has a different setting.
They have different rates.
If the frequency is different, but if it's in America, you have 60 hertz, then you must maintain the frequency all the time. It must be a stable frequency. Sometimes when you have a big demand, an inrush from the motors, from pumps, etc., there's going to be a small variation of 1-2%, but it's corrected instantaneously. Why? Because GES has has a computer inside, and is controlling the speed of the system instantaneously. No? That is the big advantage of GES. Mhm.
Okay, I thought to control these frequencies we used transformers. Am I right?
No, no. The transformers are used once once you produce the power, you
Mhm.
send the power to the transformer. In this
Without
case,
changing the
if you're
frequency.
gonna well, in this case, the transformer will elevate the voltage. If you have
Mhm.
440, maybe it
Yeah,
will
yeah, 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 yeah.
elevate to
So,
1,500,
right,
and
right.
etc.
So yeah, so
Yeah, but
it can like there what do you ups I forgot the
mhm.
term maybe So yeah,
Yeah.
so
Well, let me tell you
the downsizing and upsizing transformers, yeah. So from low voltage to high voltage and from
exactly.
high
No,
voltage
but
without changing the frequencies, yeah.
exactly. The
Okay.
frequency in reality is controlled by the speed of the system. Because if the
Right.
alternator has a stable speed
Mm-hmm.
of the shaft of incoming shaft,
Mm-hmm.
then the frequency will stay the same. What happens with the alternators is when you have a big demand on the load side
Mm-hmm.
and you start a big motor, a big pump, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
what is going to happen is that the alternators will try to brake. They will try to
Mm-hmm.
slow down.
Mm-hmm.
But we have an intelligent transmission with servo drives, with servo systems, that once they detect a reduction in the speed, then they
Mm-hmm.
will ramp up. They will accelerate, no? And then with using this acceleration, then you will sustain the alternator in the right nominal speed, and the frequency will not vary. It will be set in the set point.
Wow. Wow.
Those are
That's
exactly
good.
it's the backup, the technology backup we have, because sometimes people say, well, it's a very simple concept. Yes, it is, but it requires a lot of computing and electronic
Right.
control, because
True.
you can produce voltage, yes, but if you don't control the frequency, then that energy is worthless, because when a
Mm.
system loses the frequency, then you burn the motors in the load side. It's very
Right.
dangerous,
Right.
really.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Now let's talk about some market and opportunities. I think that's very interesting to understand, right? Now,
exactly,
obviously,
exactly.
so
Mhm.
GS is basically is 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 addressing the gaps in the energy, right? And obviously, you guys are producing sustainable and clean energy. That's the biggest advantage, which I believe, and everybody wants to come in part of it, right?
Exactly. Well, let me tell you, that is exactly our vision. Our vision
Mm-hmm.
is to be pioneers in leading sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
No, this gravity-based clean energy, it's showcasing the opportunity to combat climate change, no, and
Mm-hmm.
advance renewable energy. I mean, because everybody in the planet wants to have renewable, yeah, but the only problem is that the options are limited. Only solar, only wind, and in some cases nuclear. But the nuclear facilities they take 10 years to be developed. They are very expensive, and they have some risks
Right.
embedded. In our case, our projects are 1 year. 1 year. If you need 50 megas, 100 megas, 20 megas, the system must be in place in 1 year. No? So we can react very fast. No? Our mission, in reality, our mission is to promote diversification of energy production,
Mm-hmm.
as we have been saying, sustainability and innovation. No? Because our technology reduces the reliance on fossil fuel,
Mm-hmm.
vanished. We advance the clean energy objectives, and we foster the industrial and technological growth. In this case, uh, as you know, there are some planetary goals. No?
Mm-hmm.
There are some goals for 2030. Our mission, in reality, because is to get to the point to be producing 5 gigawatts of GES electric power by 2030. So we need to speed it up. We need to ramp up.
Wow.
We
Wow.
need to ramp up, because once you start one facility, you
Mm-hmm.
need to start another facility, another facility, another facility, in order to really produce enough units. No?
Right.
So for our investors, or well, not only our clients but also investors, the opportunity we have is that if they, for example, if they invest in a 10 mega or 20 mega project using GES, they install the 20 mega, no,
Mm-hmm.
and they start producing power immediately. If the first mega just arrived, in a matter of 1 week, is going to set up. and you start producing. Then the other 5 mega comes to the site. We will start it up and start producing. So you don't need to wait until the 20 mega is there to be producing energy. And then this new company can sell, can commercialize the power to the local clients, because we can do a 1 kilometer transmission, 5 kilometer, another 2 kilometer. So those are local users of the technology we are installing here in this piece of land. So we can produce power locally, and we can sell the energy for 10 years, for 20 years, and that is a big business. Big business comes, and from now on, is going to be a better opportunity every year.
Right.
Because the electric pricings, the electric cost is going up because it depends on, on fossil fuels. 86% of the energy of the planet is based on fossil fuels. So renewables are only, increase the capacity of the countries to produce clean electric power. And once you have electric power, you can have enough water. Why? Because if you have enough power, then you can install desalination system next to the coastlines, and then you desalinate the water, and then you have water. So you have power, you have water, and then you can grow food, and you can develop a country if you have enough power.
So lot of creating a lot of impact in the society with this initiative, right? So have you like can you just share some examples of the industries you think would be like where significant impact can be done? Which I believe this can't be for the personal consumption, right? Because 600 square feet of area is not possible for an individual home, right? Maybe a society can take it, but not an individual cannot afford it, or may not have that opportunity, especially in the cities, right?
No, maybe exactly. It was a business decision because to eliminate the concept of going for homes. I mean, if you want to use GES for homes, then what you do is you install half a mega here, and then you supply power for 1,000 homes. But you have a central, you have one central station of generation, and then you put cables in each street, and then you use it. We don't want to go to design a system for homes, because then it's crazy. It's we want to keep the focus on industrial power development for the next 20 years, exactly like that. Not going into each home, because then it's crazy. I mean, for homes, solar is perfect. Solar power is perfect.
Okay. So talking about your current innovation and stuff, are you guys doing something in terms of innovation or new technologies?
Yes, of course.
Currently?
No, definitely. I mean, our system in the recent years, we have been working intensively on developing the right technologies to operate our system remotely. I mean, if we install this 50 mega system that some of our investors or clients will desire, we install the 50 mega. Of course, you need one or two persons there, of course, checking if there's something happening. But in reality, the whole system is being monitored with a computer locally, and of course, in our center, in our control center, we are always watching each unit, each one of the units. For example, if it's the 50 mega, then we are monitoring 500 units, 500. If one it becomes yellow, something is happening there. So our controllers can open up in the computer and check which device, which sensor, which motor, or which air conditioning is failing, whatever. And then we address the problem, and then we send someone to repair them. We are offering a 10-year warranty, meaning that if one of the 500 units fails, we will just take it off, and replace with a new one. No discussions, because there's no need to discuss. Once you bring this unit back to our shop, we'll check what happened. But we will always have available units, no? That is the other concept that is interesting. Once you have 1 megawatt installed, If one of the systems or two of the systems fail, doesn't matter. The same 1 megawatt system will keep producing the commercial nominal power required. No,
Okay.
but talking about innovation, one concept is that the remote operation, we will always be transmitting information. If it's not through an IP, we will use Starlink to transmit the information we need. And of course, we have done a lot of development with Siemens. So our unit not only controls itself, but also is a slave of the master unit. If it's 1 mega, the master is the main computer that is controlling 10 units. If it's 100 megas, of course, we have clusters of 100 units. So we have 10 clusters of 10 or 100 units to control the whole 100 mega. No? So the innovation is regarding computers, computing power, regarding remote communication, remote operation, and also the other area of innovation is precisely the control of the frequency. No, we are including new technologies, electronic technologies that we can use also to monitor the frequency, to monitor the current and the voltage instantaneously. So if there's a variation, if there's a deviation, these electronic controls will set up the right set point to be 100% reliable. So those are the areas of innovation. Of course, the other innovation is that if you install, let's say 20 megas, that means 200 units, and the owner says, hey, I need to move all this capacity to a different location. Okay? If it's 20 megas, in 1 month, we can turn it off, turn the whole system off, and each unit goes with a crane, and we put it in a truck, and we send the 200 units away. And once we come to the new site, of course, we need some concrete slabs to hold, to sustain the container, because the container is full of water, as you know. So when you put the water in, there's a lot of weight. So the slab must sustain the weight of the unit. No? So that's the only thing required, some concrete slabs in the new Destiny, and then we will do the interconnection of the system, and of course, we will do a new electric installation to the new site. So imagine a system that can be relocated as needed. And if you install 20 megas and you say, hey, another 10 megas, no problem. It's modular, so we will just keep growing up to the client's need. Those are the areas of innovation.
Okay. That's good to know, right? Innovation is I think you guys have it in your organization as the key to success, I believe, right? Talking about
Exactly.
business, yeah. Let's say if I want to have the system at my industry. Let's say I'm an industry, right? And I want to set up. What would be the total cost that a person and a company would incur, right?
Well, of course, because it's hard to answer, because each site requires some, as I told you, some engineering, and the project itself will needs to define how much work we need to do on the electrical side, on the mechanical, on the civil works, and that. But what I can tell you is that in all the financial runs and the financial analysis we have done of some clients' needs, we are always very close to the return of investment of 20% per year.
Okay.
That means that we can always complete we can complete the business, and we recover our capital in 5 years. In some cases, in some big projects, etc. Well, maybe we can go to 6 years as the worst case, but we are always inside the 5 years frame. So that can tell you that the cost of our implementation is nominal, is normal, and is not exceeding the power. What I know, the information I have, is that the wind technology, sometimes they go up to 9 years to recover. And in solar, they are getting into 7, 8 years. So our goal is to be exactly in that arena to
Mm-hmm.
force the cost of the system so we don't exceed the 5 years, no? Because we want to
Right.
be in fully compliance with the client's need. And if the promise is let's go for 5 years, okay, let's do whatever we need to do to comply with the five
Mm-hmm.
years return investment of the return investment, return of investment.
Wow, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Now let's talk about your future plans. About
Hmm.
so let me know your
Hmm.
plans for scaling GES operations and how do you ensure, like, are you guys planning to reach out to new markets, right? Because this, I think you guys are already operational and you guys are serving a couple of your
Hmm.
industries, right?
Yes, yes, exactly. Our goal, starting in 2025 up to 2030, is to uh, grow our capacity, our manufacturing capacity, and
Mm-hmm.
install the first plant. We want to install the first plant here in Guadalajara. Guadalajara is the
Mm-hmm.
Silicon Valley for Latin America.
Yeah.
There are more than 80 electronic companies here in Guadalajara. So we
Mm-hmm.
have everything here. I mean, if we need Siemens, we need Hewlett Packard, we need IBM or whatever. The
Mm-hmm.
technology is here in Guadalajara. So
Mm-hmm.
we have many engineers that are very
Mm-hmm.
capable and fully knowledgeable in the new technologies. So we want to start the first and the second plant here in Guadalajara.
Mm-hmm.
We'll continue with another plant in the border, in the border of the USA. I mean, inside
Mm-hmm.
Mexico, but next to the USA, in order to supply power, to supply systems to the USA. There
Mm-hmm.
are opportunities to install a plant in Panama, another in Brazil, and then we can go from there. I mean, it depends on the market needs. No, if some clients are in Australia, well, we can install a plant in Australia. We have the patent in Australia. Um,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I mean, we are right now talking with people in the Arab world in Dubai, and
Mm-hmm.
of course, in Dubai, the needs are always overwhelming. They are always asking of gigas. They
Mm-hmm.
say 1 giga, 2 gigas, 3 gigas. Oh my God, then it's crazy because
Mm-hmm.
then what you need to do is to have two, three different plants, maybe some in Europe, maybe some in Africa, etc. So you can bring different assemblies, and then you just do the final assembly and the final startup of the systems in a final facility. In this
Mm-hmm.
case, if it's in Dubai, well, we need to do the final assembly in Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that can help once you get into the production of thousands and thousands of systems. No?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, for us, one production line, it's 1,000 units a year, 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
So that means 100 megas, 100 megas. That is the production of one line. But of course, in one facility, you can have one, two, three lines, production lines. No.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what we are going to do is once we have the right personnel, the right engineers, I learned that in my early years as engineer,
Mm-hmm.
what you do is to replicate. So you bring some of your supervisors, some engineers, and you
Mm-hmm.
tell them, hey, you need to start this second plan. And once you have the
Mm-hmm.
second plan, you bring some people, you need to start the third plan. So you use
Right.
knowledgeable people, people with
Mm-hmm.
experience, people you trust and that are self-motivated. And then you start each plan with all people, with all people from your company. So
Right.
that's the way I have learned that we can start the plans immediately. And then we need to rely on the suppliers. No? Because,
Mm-hmm.
for example, the alternators, if you tell an alternator company, hey, I need 5,000 alternators, they will say,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, I need to start another plant. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not only that we need to grow our plants, also the suppliers will need to grow plants for
True.
alternators, for pumps, for processors, for
Mm-hmm.
electronic PLCs, etc., and containers, etc. So exactly. So it's a big project. It's a very big project, and
Mm-hmm.
exactly we are looking for the right partners to do some joint ventures
Mm-hmm.
in different countries because this is the right moment. This is the right moment.
Right. So,
The Mhm.
so you just mentioned about, your like supervisors and team. I think can you let us know, like, how does your team look like? How's your leadership team? And you know, I believe
Mhm.
you are the
Mhm.
you're the
Yeah.
CEO of the company, right? And
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Well, one of our partners is he's from the Netherlands. He is the CTO. He's the technology officer.
Mhm.
Um, I have another partner. He is more on the sales, on the commercial side, working
Right.
on sales. There's another friend of mine. He's the chief financial officer.
Mm.
He lives in the USA. So yeah, I mean, our staff is very experienced people.
Mhm.
They are state of the art in the experience they have,
Mhm.
and of course we have pretty knowledgeable engineers
Mhm.
in the technical arena. And well, those are the most important guys. And of course, every time you get a new project, you need to produce, as I was telling you, 500 units. Of course, you
Mhm.
need to ramp up and hire a lot of people. So we have a list of 25 people that we already know that they have worked with us in the past. So
Mhm.
it's just a phone call, and they come and we can start immediately a new manufacturing site.
Great.
So
Great. Great. Great.
those are the people we are uh, working with.
Wow, that's good. So before we started this conversation, right? I was just discussing about spirituality and your philosophy and everything, right? So
Yes.
so can you tell us like what's your leadership philosophy and how does it
Mhm.
impact
Mhm.
the
Yeah,
direction of GES, you know?
exactly. No, no, thank you. Yes. No, well, let me tell you, I have always, with this project, I have always envisioned to give power and water and development, and especially food, to developing countries, to developing cities or towns or villages.
Mhm.
As you know, right now, I mean, we are already in with intelligent, artificial intelligence and computing power, and I mean, the world is very developed in some countries, in some areas, but
Mhm.
there are still 3, 4 billion people that have no water, they don't have power, they don't have
Mhm.
development, they don't have schools. No? So this is exactly the opportunity for GES, no? Because a GES unit, you can grab it with a helicopter, and you can transport it 300 kilometers in
Mhm.
one day. In one day, you bring this unit carried by a helicopter, you bring it down with people already waiting for it, with a concrete slab ready. So you bring
Mhm.
the unit, you bring some trucks with water, you put the
Mhm.
water in 1 hour,
Mhm.
and in the next hour, you're producing power. That is the capacity of GE. Nobody can do that. Nobody can do
Mhm.
that because the wind projects, they take at least 4 years to be developed. If you want
Mhm.
one turbine of wind technology, it's 3, 4 years at least.
Mhm.
If you want the solar, well, you need to buy the land. You need to
Mhm.
be ready that yeah, it receives enough sunlight, etc. And then you need to start installing the solar panels. And when the wind comes, the solar panels go away. It has happened
Mhm.
here in the Baja. They lost 100 megas of solar panels. They are lost because a hurricane came, a storm came. So with GES, the unit is so heavy. Once it has the water, I mean, if it's empty, it's 7 tons. Once with water, you get up to 40 tons,
Mhm.
40,000 kilograms. So
Mhm.
it's very heavy. GES can also be used as a shield. If you put a line of GES, and in
Uh-huh.
this side you have desert, you
Uh-huh.
have 6 meter wall
Mhm.
with using our system, and you can
Uh-huh.
contain the desert growth
Mhm.
with our system. You can build the layout you want. So that is my vision is exactly that. That we can help many communities, many countries, many villages, and bring them progress in a matter of months. You bring the
Right.
units to the town, you start producing power, then you can filter water because you have power. You can
Right.
start growing food there. You can install schools. You can bring some teachers, and then
Uh-huh.
in a matter of 1 year, this town is a different town. That is
Right.
what I really love about the project. No, this capacity to change the future of communities very easily. So in our company, once we get to a certain point,
Uh-huh.
I want to at least to use 10% of our profits to start
Mhm.
developing these projects as a non-profit, no, to
Wow.
develop these projects non-profit. And I think it's a legacy that we wanna give away to the planet and to the humankind. No? And talking about, there are additional projects we can develop. I will only tell you one because we have many. The coral reef, for example, the coral reef worldwide is already dead. 60% of the coral reef is dead already. So we only have 40% remaining, but is declining every day. Once we have GES, we bring GES to the coastline, we do an ice installation there, and we start cooling the water. We suck water with a pump, we suck hot water, we cool it down, we change the pH, we add some food for the coral. We can bring in some food to the coral, and we send the water, the cold water, and we do, a matrix of water, of cold water in the bottom of the sea, so we can save the coral. Because what is happening with the coral is that the coral is dying once the temperature of the ocean gets to 28 degrees. So once the water is 28, the coral dies in a day, in 1 day. So we need to cool down the water. We can do that with GES. The same happens in the Arctic. In the Arctic, the ice is melting. Why? Because some rivers are running in different areas of the Arctic, so they are melting. If you have power in the Arctic with GES, and as I told you, we can bring the units with helicopters. I mean, we can bring them into the coastline, and then at the coastline, we can bring it to build our hub, our production generation hub. Then we can put some towers that they produce mist, water mist, and this water mist falls and becomes snow. Exactly, to cool down the Arctic. So there are many projects because that we can develop once we have this GES power.
Right. That's good. Yeah, that's so noble thought about the society and the world. Yeah, especially the planet. Now talking about a very important thing. So what would you like to speak to? What would you like to share with the potential uh, customers, potential partners, or potential stakeholders in future? What would be your message to them? Yeah.
Well, I think we have a great opportunity for you to become our partner in this project. The technology is here to stay, and this technology will be thoroughly used in the next 20, 30 years. And GES is the perfect companion for the clean, sustainable energy development in the planet. And once we start installing gigawatts of power, gigawatts of electric power, we will really change the way the businesses are run. Because, I mean, this new gravitational energy can be installed very easily, very fast in all the arenas of the planet, in many countries, in many places. So the opportunity we have is not only for you to, hey, I need 5 megas, 10 megas. No, we can do big projects selling energy, producing clean water, desalinating water, developing growth facilities. I'm talking food facilities. We can grow wine. Grapes. We can grow many crops that are going to be needed for the humankind in the next 20 years. As you know, some tendencies are trying to shut down the production of food. Well, that's the opportunity we have. We can produce new technologies, food with new technologies, but you need power. And we have the power. So I think we can generate new ventures. We can generate we can start new facilities in different places and generate very big opportunities.
That's great. That's great. So how are you gonna use those funds? Like what's the area where you think maximum funds would be utilized? Let's say we have raised certain number, right? And we want to what are the areas where we want to improve upon, right? Where these funds gonna be utilized?
You mean what would be the use of the funds?
Yeah,
Is that the question?
yeah.
No, well, at this moment, we don't need to invest in marketing or sale. No, 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 no. The sales are a given because there are many clients that want to get our system in their facilities, in their businesses.
Right.
The money we did now is to start our first manufacturing facility.
Okay.
And I have enough capital, to buy the alternators, to buy all the procurement required for our projects. We need this capital to ramp up and start the first manufacturing plant. And then once this plant is running, start with the second immediately, and the second and the third and the fourth. So in reality, the usage of the funds is strictly for the startup, the startup of the manufacturing facility.
That's
It's
good.
only that. No? We don't need, well, of course, it's good to have some R&D, but at this moment the R&D is complete.
Yeah.
We don't need to invest in R&D, not in marketing. It's just to produce units at this moment.
That's good to know. Right. Is there anything else like you want to speak on, like which you think that we haven't touched, right? And which thing might be important message?
Well, I mean, I think the opportunity that we foresee for GES is that this technology, of course, is not known. A few days ago, one lady asked me, "But why we don't know about your technology?" And we have been telling, well, we have been under the table. We don't want to be, just talking and talking. No, we want to demonstrate with facts. We want to install 10. We want to have 10 facilities or at least 7 facilities. We want to have at least 50 success stories in the planet. And once they are there, okay, then we will start talking. Then we will talking in all the multimedia networks. But at this moment, that is not our interest. Our interest now is to grow. So I think this is the right opportunity. If you check how climate change is affecting the planet, and how the big corporations are trying to start handling everything. This is the right opportunity for countries and for new companies and to own their power, because we can own our power and we can have our power in our own facility. That is the big advantage. We can relocate, but we own the power inside our plant. The GES units can be inside the plant, they can be outside, they can be everywhere. But it's different to own your power than depending on the power from others. So that is the final
It's like
message.
having your own power, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Luis, it was wonderful. Yeah, it was wonderful speaking to you, and I really like your insightful thoughts and the way you think about the world. I really love it, and obviously you're doing a very sustainable clean energy initiative, and I just wish you that you reach your goals, and the GI network can be a part where we support you. We help you out in your vision, successfully accomplishing the mission you have, right? And on those thoughts, I wish you best of luck. And it was wonderful speaking to you today.
Thank you very much, because I fully appreciate your company and your presence, and certainly we'll be here whenever
Thank you
you
so
need.
much. Thank you so much. Take care.
Okay. Thank you. Take care.